Okay, this is lesson 17, problem set in Algebra 1. And that picture on the screen is just a picture of where I'm at right now making this video. I'm out on Ski Lac Lake, sitting on the beach in the sunshine in the late August. And anyway, I just thought maybe you'd like to see where I teach my online courses. So that is the view from where I'm at. The Kenai River is straight ahead of us. Okay, back to algebra. All right, in the practice problems, they're asking you to evaluate by adding and then multiplying. So in this one, the first one, I'm just going to show you real quick. We have 4 times the quantity 5 minus 3. Remember, you do it's in the parentheses first, and then you do your multiplication, and you get 8. Okay, so looks like the practice is going to be fairly straightforward. Number 1 asks you to determine or explain what a coefficient is. And we have just some questions there about some of the words that we learned in problem set 17. As you continue, you get to number 10, and it says to evaluate using the distributive property, which means it's going to be a little bit different than what you're used to doing because they're asking you to solve this a certain way. Now, some of you would solve this by doing negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5, and then multiplying that by negative 7 and get positive 35. Okay, that's one method of doing it. It is not incorrect, but the book says they want you to solve this using the distributive method. The distributive method says we take negative 7 times negative 8 and get positive 56, and then we take negative 7 times 3 and get negative 21, and then when we multiply those together we get 35, just like we did in the last problem. So you're going to get the right answer doing it either one of the two ways, but they want you to practice using the distributive property, so that's why they're asking you to do it and solve it using the distributive. So that is numbers 12 through 15. Now 16 through 20, you're doing some just plugging things in, and let's look at number 20. This is an old lesson, but this is from problem set number 16. But I want to get you used to substituting numbers in for letters because you will use this a lot and it's good to get it down, and sometimes it can be just a little bit tricky. So there's the problem, and they're saying that a equals negative 2, x equals positive 2, and y equals negative 3. Alright, so let's plug those numbers in. So y is negative 3. That negative is not part of y. Y is negative 3. This is not part of it. So that's why I put it in parentheses. Very important to remember to use the parentheses. A, negative 2. Y, negative 3. Minus x is 2. And y is negative 3. Okay, so even though that looks a little bit complicated and maybe a little extra work, in the long run, it's a good deal. Okay, so that turns into a positive 3. Let's make our brace. That turns into a positive 6. Minus 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So then these become positive. So we have 3 times 12 is 36 then for your answer. Numbers 21 to 26, it's just using the order of operations, your PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, whatever acronym you want to use to help you with that. But it's just practicing that. Number 27, some of you had a little bit of a hard time on the test with this as far as not only finding the perimeter, but finding the area of an object like that. So make sure when you have something like that, you really think about dividing this into a couple rectangles and making sure that you find the length of the sides. Like in the book, it does not give you this length right there. You have to determine that. It also does not give you this length right here. So make sure you use your head and subtract correctly and all of that. Number 28, you're finding the area of a circle and then taking half of it because you're only working with a half circle there. So anyway, hopefully that won't give you any trouble there. 30, a right circular cylinder. It gives you your radius. It gives you the height. And you're supposed to find the surface area. You're not supposed to find out the volume or anything else. You're supposed to take the area of the top, the area of the bottom, add them together, cut this thing up, lay it flat, and find the area of that, and add it to the top and the bottom areas, and that would be the surface area. So that's lesson 17 problem set.